We are controlling transmission. We will control the horizontal. We will control the vertical. We can change the focus to a soft blur or sharpen it to crystal clarity. For the next hour, sit quietly and we will control all that you see and hear. You are about to participate in a great adventure. You are about to experience the awe and mystery which reaches from the inner mind to the outer limits.
God damn, do I love that intro. Justin dropped that on us. I didn't even see it was coming. The outer limits, we control it. We've got the next hour. We are ready to go. Welcome, everybody. It is Friday night, 3 Men in the Basement, coming to you live and direct from the grotto. If I am Otto, to my right, I always have Huggy Bear himself.
What's up, everybody? Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we've got Hutch running the scenes. Justin, say what's up to everybody.
What's going on, everybody? Loving Jersey right now. Got a week from comic swap time.
Can't wait. That's coming up. And then as a special guest, we have Ryan, Comic Guy, straight from Vegas, joining us for the first time. Ryan, thank you very much for joining us tonight. Welcome to the Grotto, man. We're happy to have you here tonight.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here, and thank you again for having me on.
Absolutely. Hey, I got one question before we get started. Like, when we go on places, like we want to go to Vegas for vacation.
Yeah.
Ryan, where do you go on vacation if you're already in Vegas? Like, that's our mecca.
Yeah, you know what? It's kind of fun. Being in Vegas, you get to keep your money because you see what happens with those billion-dollar buildings keep shooting up, right? So thank you to all three of you for coming in and helping us not have state income tax. But for us, well, we kind of go more west and we go to like Hawaii or LA maybe or Florida. I don't know. But yeah, we love for you guys to keep coming here. So please don't.
But you guys leave, right? All the locals leave. Yeah, that's great. That's great. All right. So we've got a lot of things to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about the comic swap. I've got a CGC unboxing from Baltimore. We're going to get to know Ryan a little bit better. But before you guys do anything, sub up to Ryan on Instagram. On Instagram, he's Ryan Comic Guy. On YouTube, he's also got a YouTube channel. Sub up. Make sure you guys do that, and we'll talk about that a little bit as we go in. But as of you guys know, we have a comic book swap. Our third comic book swap coming up.
Week away.
Yep. And this is going to be in Jersey, Roselle Park at Frenchie's.
Frenchie's.
And
what a great name.
What a great name, right? And as we get started with this, we're going to tell you guys a little bit about the swap and what we do and why it's so much fun. It's more than just going to a con and hanging out. But you know what, Justin? I forgot to mention our good sponsors.
Yes.
All right, so we are sponsored by our friends at Rocket Comics. Rocket Comics is 1 week away from C2E2. I got 7 big books with them.
Oh, yeah?
And I just reached out to them. So just so you know, within the next 2 or 3 weeks, I'm going to do an unboxing. These are 3 of the books that I sent in. I sent a Daredevil 1, 5.5 to get cracked and pressed. BA12, I don't think any of these were pressed, to be honest with you. A BA12, 9.4 to get pressed and resubmitted. And I've also got a Batman 121, 3.5 Mr. Freeze. Now, as I was thinking about this today, a 0.5 on that Batman 121 is huge.
Yeah.
The BA12, if the guys at Rocket Comics can bring that up to a 9.6, which I've seen, a 9.8, boy, you better protect your neck because I'm going to do a karate chop. And the Daredevil number 1, 5.5, if that comes up to a 6, I'll be happy with that. But they've got lots of people. They're your one-stop shop for signatures, pressing, and all your services. Please mention 3 Men in a Basement, and you'll get 20% off your initial invoice. And then returning customers will get 10%. And they got lots of stuff coming up, man. And they're on their website. We share it on our on the 3 Men in a Basement Cellar Dwellers Facebook. I share it on my page, Instagram. We are all in with Rocket Comics, so that's awesome. Now, getting back to the swap is going to be from 1 to 5, right?
Right.
And you can come with books. You can come with money. You can come with money and no books. You can come with just stuff to hang out with us. We are going to do a raffle. You get a door prize. I've got a slab that I'm going to be giving away just for showing up. We're going to do maybe a pre-recording video. If the internet is strong enough, we'll go live from there. And we've got lots of stuff to raffle off. And Justin?
Yeah, we do some trivia, give away prizes
trivia.
for the trivia.
Absolutely.
The
trivia.
It's the only thing I got.
That's right. You're working hard on that, right? How many rounds of trivia are we going to do?
We're going to do 2. I like rounds. The 2. I'm going to keep it Marvel DC.
Yep. All right. So we've already got some commitments. We've got maybe a few of the NY Warriors coming down. We've got Ink Jedi from the Comic Book Fiend Club. We've got, I think, Geeky Swag Shop is going to take the ride down. We've got us, Dave in the Cave, Very Gary, the Butcher. So we've got a lot of people coming. We just hope that people that are thinking about it actually just say, hey, listen, this is a great idea. Because when we first started this, I said, I got an idea. And then Roger goes, great, here we
Yeah,
go
here we
again.
go.
Here we go.
Usually your ideas cost me money.
Yeah. And then I got Justin on board. We had our first one. Then we had the second one. And now we're going on our third one, man. And we are truly, truly, and I don't say this often, blessed to have such a community of guys who just want to get together and talk comic books, talk shop. And it was really, the fruition of eBay putting on sales tax and everything. And, our books are worth money. We pay money. It's equity. Sure. So that's why we're having it. So, Justin, while you were driving around, what are some of the cool raffle gifts that we've got for the swap?
Hold on. So, we'll talk about one of our best shops here in New Jersey, Zap Comics. Zap Comics actually gave me 4 tickets to their upcoming ZapCon, which is on March 29th, I believe.
Nice. And they have a big guest coming there, don't they?
Yeah, they have Dan Slott and Tyler Kirkham. Are both going to be there. So they gave me 4 tickets to give away for the raffle on that. Yeah. I also, from our friends over at Eastside Mags, they are in Montclair, New Jersey. They gave us tickets to, they gave us a couple of things. I got tickets to East Coast Comic Con. I got 2 tickets for East Coast Comic Con.
Nice.
As well as a $10 gift card and something that I'm going to be putting in for a Marvel Gallery San Diego Comic-Con Spider-Gwen, and this is the unmasked version. The regular one has her masked. This is the one that has her unmasked with showing her face. So that's just some stuff right now. And I mean, we're a week away. I still could get some more stuff from the other shops that I did drop off flyers at. And then just so you guys know, I'm going to just throw this on me real quick. We are debuting. It's not going to me. Why is it not going to me? Oh, well. I will show off some new merchandise that the 3 Men in the Basement will be selling at the Comic Swap. We have drink coasters, guys.
Love them.
Yep. So not only will we have T-shirts, but we will also have drink coasters as well. So this is some new stuff. This is from Unmasked Collectibles. He's a friend of mine that I've been dealing with for a very long time. He does all types of embroidery. So first thing that we wanted to get out there for new merchandise was the drink coasters. So we'll be seeing a lot more stuff coming down the line.
Absolutely. So, and I'll be bringing some T-shirts. I got all different sizes. Some of the merchandise.
We will be raffling off one of our newly printed hoodies.
3 Men in the Basement hoodies.
With the New Jersey logo on the back.
Straight out of Jersey right there. There we go.
It will not be for sale, but there will be one in the raffle.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So it's going to be a great time. Justin, who we got hanging out with us in the live chat? I see some of the usual suspects.
Of course, TiVo came in here early. He was about 20 minutes early. We got Dave in the Cave is hanging with us. Joe Doyle, thanks for stopping in.
What's up, Joe?
He said, I think I saw him say, what's up, Ryan? We got Matt Forge as always. Man from Beantown's checking in with us. Audi Rosel's here. Vexer 4000. There's a lot of guys in here. Sith AF, thank you guys so much for joining tonight on a Friday night. Wherever you are, hope you have a cold one or a nice drink.
Enjoy your libations. Cheers, Happy Friday. Let's get kicking with the weekend. So, I want to give a shout out to Shortbox Bernie, because Shortbox Bernie was the one who said, hey, I've been communicating with Ryan Comic Guy about coming on the show. So we just started going back and forth. I checked out his YouTube channel. I checked out his Instagram stuff. And I'm like, it's got some really good stuff. So we made this happen.
You got some feedback.
David McKay for $1 super chat. Thank you very much.
Everett, you got some feedback on the microphone.
Okay. All right, let me adjust it a little bit.
Yeah, that sounds better.
Okay. Yeah, we'll just try it that way. So what we wanted to do was we love having new collectors on and just people who are on Instagram and things like that. So Ryan, you've got some great stuff on your Instagram stuff. I saw that your first Instagram post was like June 8th, 2017, somewhere around there. Is that right?
It was actually June 8th of 2019. 2019.
All right, so we're a year on it. You got like 1,500 followers. You're selling stuff live. You just had a live sale?
Yeah, actually, it's something that I started recently. Last week was actually the first time I've ever done it. And the whole reason I even started the YouTube channel this year was because it was my New Year's resolution to start something new. I wanted to put myself out there and kind of see how the community responds and what I have to give it. And so far, it's been doing great.
Absolutely. So you just did a sale last night. You bought something.
Yeah, I did. He did a spot sale on Instagram. You were on for about an hour, right?
Yeah, I go on for an hour. We have a 9-month-old baby, so
God bless
I go on when my wife is putting the baby to bed, so that way I have some free time. And yeah, he got a Spider-Man What If, the Vitruvian Man cover with the first appearance of Poison on it.
Poison.
So
Love
it's a
that
great
book.
pickup.
Love that character.
I got it for a steal.
Otto, do me a favor.
Yeah.
Just unplug your mic real quick and plug it back in.
Okay.
Anyway, I can still talk, and I got a great voice. Thanks, guys. So, Ryan, I mean, I went on your website, and I know you're kind of new to the website game. I did see that you start doing blogs, and the most recent one that you talked about was the idea of slabbing or not slabbing, and that's a big thing here in the community. I mean, I slab a lot of my variants because I want them to come back 9.8, of course, first appearances, but kind of go over what your blog was all about as far as the decision to slab or not to slab and the pros and cons.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question, and one that I find going over myself a lot too. And especially like you were saying with variants, those are going to be for your cover and for your rarity. And I think when it comes to getting a book rated, it comes down to rarity plus scarcity. And so I like to look at that. I like to see, for me, sometimes it is, like you said, a first appearance. So like Otto was saying, the BA12, you got Harley Quinn in there. And so obviously you want to make sure you preserve that. And especially with books that gain value, big fear I have is that, oh shoot moment where something falls on it, you drop it, whatever the case be. And if it's a good book and it's a high value ratio or a rare book, you just lost a lot of money. And so, and I think in going back to what Otto was saying about the sales tax with eBay, minus the sales tax, going to eBay, it's very hard in a digital world to try and show a book and say, hey, this is what it's worth. This is the grade, right? You hear so many times near mint, near mint, near mint. It comes in, it's like very fine, maybe, right? And you're like, oh, God, I can't trust it. But if I have a third-party independent grader who tells me that it is this grade, I can look at it and say, okay, this is what this has been paid for, and I can assume that this is going to be the grade that I get it in. And we all know that USPS, UPS, FedEx, whoever it is, shipping those books, they do not care what's in the packages, right? So sometimes I've had some very expensive raws show up and they're just crushed. With those encapsulations, it protects it. So for me, I look into all those different variables, and the ROI can be huge on a book too. A 9.8, like Otto was saying, is going to jump from 9.4 tremendously. I mean, you're looking at probably an $800 gain if you go from a 9.4 to a 9.8. And that's a near mint to a near mint, right? So that's a very small jump, but the value is there. Whereas in a raw, I don't think he'd ever get more than maybe $300 for it raw. So
yeah, it's definitely tough to support that. My BA12 was a 9.4. I had it pressed. It actually got pressed up to a 9.6. So clearly I made a nice, $200 jump on that. But I mean, if I could have taken it from a 9.4 to a 9.8, I mean, you're talking about a $1,600 to $2,000 book and a 9.8 for a BA12.
Absolutely. And then you throw in newsstand and it's a whole nother world.
So tell us kind of the reasons why you don't want to slab a book. The pros, of course, is the grade, the value then, because then you can at least go with the GPA. But what are kind of the cons of not doing not slabbing a book?
Yeah, absolutely. So some of the cons could be, again, the grade that you get, right? So sometimes I've seen it where a raw book, in fact, I had a little bit of an issue happen with that. I have a high value book that came back 9.2, which as a raw, it'll sell for a lot more. So you have to look at the return on investment. And on that one, that was a whole situation. So for me, when I send books in, I make sure to do them in increments of 25. That way you can get the pre-screen option. And that way any books that don't get graded, you're only getting a little $5 hit. But going back to why you wouldn't want to do it, to read them, of course. So, and then a lot of books too, they don't have the return on them. And you are I factor in, your shipping, packaging costs, grading costs. You're probably in the cost of the book. So a cover price book, you're probably going to be in it for about $30 roughly to get it graded. Now, you're going to have to sell that. Say it's on eBay, you're going to have someone that wants to buy it for, I don't know, $45 plus shipping, because after eBay's fees, and they have to pay sales taxes on it. So you are jumping a huge margin there. So unless the book is going to give you that ROI, you'd be better off just keeping it and selling it for $10 raw than spending $30-$40 to get it graded and then to have to try and sell for that much more.
No, absolutely. Right. It's definitely a lot tougher with a modern book.
Yeah.
Otto, you back?
Yeah, we're back. I hope it's a little bit better. I don't know what was happening. All right. So, Ryan, that's really good information. But you know what?
I have a question for Ryan.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I was looking at your stuff on your store, Ryan, and you got a lot of really cool variants. Actually, all your books are pretty cool. I missed out on you had a Carnage cover last night, Virgin, and I had a lag in my phone with the internet. And by the time I started to type in the letter, 4 people had already.
Son of a gun.
But I want to know, because going down your page, you got a lot of 9.8s. I want to know, are you just that crap lucky, or do you just send so much bulk, the stuff that you get back, you just sell the 9.8s?
But Ryan, you got to preface this by saying Roger has bad luck
I have very bad
with
luck.
CGC, so this is a very, very
because
jaded...
if you're that crap lucky, I may send you a Teen Titans 12 to submit for me.
Yeah, right.
Well, let me tell you, first off, you have to remember where I live. I live in Las Vegas. It's the land of the lucky, right?
Yeah, right. Hey.
You got to roll them 6s and 8s.
But, you got to roll them bones, baby.
No, but in seriousness, it really is a crapshoot. But like I was just saying a second ago, I send my books in 25 book chunks, and when you do that, that triggers the pre-screen option. And so I go ahead and I say I only want books that are going to be graded at a 9.8. Okay. So for instance, my last shipment, I sent in 2 shipments of 25, so there's 50 books. It was actually 53 because I had a few extras. But out of those 53, 48 ended up grading out in a 9.8.
Oh my god!
So
I don't hate you, but
but you know what? Here's the other thing too is as many as that you see. So here's the other thing too, and I do sometimes so the unboxing of what I get back from CGC. I'm sending in all honesty, I'm sending in probably 3 or 4 books of each one when I send them in, because I'm assuming and that I need to send in 3 to get 1 back.
Correct.
Now, sometimes I'm going to get multiples of those back in 9.8s, and that's been sometimes the luck of the draw. But you know what? Here's the other thing too, and I don't want to go on a whole diatribe, but third-party grading is, and the whole collecting world in general is a very subjective field. There is no objectivity. Yes, a 9.8 should be within these certain confines, but as we all know, people are going to see different flaws differently. And so some days you have a really good grader who might be a little bit more lenient, and some days you have some guy that maybe, I don't know, maybe has some relationship issues and comes in and takes it out of the books, because I have been.
Right.
I think that's the guy they assign to me every time I send books.
Yeah. You know what? And as with anything, so for me, my background is traditionally I went through law school and I was going to be a lawyer, switched to finance. But with me, finance, as with anything, it's an analytics and a numbers game. So, I figure, here's the other thing too, is if I send in a $4 book and it gets rejected, now I'm in it for about $9 to $12 with shipping. Correct. So you are going to take that hit, because if that's a $4 book, I now have to get 12 to 15 just to break even on my original investment. Right. And that's where you have those things where it pays off. But here's the other thing too. I have probably 200 books right here that are all slab 9.8s. I still got to move them. And that's another thing too, is now my return should be, $100 for some of these books, right? Yeah. But because some of them I'm in them for $70, $80, but it adds up. And so, I'm sitting on a lot of money. I've put in a lot of costs, and you have to find buyers who have that kind of liquidity that want to pay for that versus buying a raw. And going back to why you should not CGC it, that's also it. You were in the live claim sale last night. I moved a lot of books last night. I probably moved 30, 40 books, right? Wow. If I were to have the same live claim sale, I guarantee you I could not move 30 or 40 slabs.
No, you would have made a lot less, definitely, because of the price of the book just for their grades.
Right. Even if I sold them at my cost, at my break-even cost, I still couldn't move that many books, and that's just part of it.
Right.
Where was I for this live sale?
You gotta be in it, man.
He had a lot of
Story,
great books, Justin. I'm telling you, some variants, some, a couple first appearances, some great Virgin covers.
This is
I've
funny.
so let me just kind of jump in there for the pre-screen. I've done pre-screen before. I was a big Zenoscope guy, so I was sending all those variants, and I knew they were coming back 9.8s. And I've done it twice. My best was I think I had one time I had 18 out of 25, and then 20 out of 25. Like you said, it's $5. It is what it is. But I know even raw, those books go for more than what I paid for them, plus the $5 increment. My question to you is, what's the most single issue that you've ever sent in? Like 5, what's probably your best, like 5 issues or 4 issues of this? Have you ever sent in like 4 or 5 copies of Edge of Spider-Verse 2 or, obviously not Batman 89 that just came out this week, but what's your most? What would you say?
As far as what I got in a value return, or how many like single issues?
Single issues, yeah.
Okay. So I got. Yeah.
Variant or regular cover could be.
I sent in, and so it was also probably my best luck. And I got, I don't know if you guys are Ninja Turtle fans or anything like that, but I was able to get a bunch of the Ninja Turtle variants from 95 as well as 51. That was the first appearance of Jenica, and then 95 with her turning into a turtle. Kevin Eastman had a bunch on his website that had gone under the radar because 51 wasn't a big issue. So I was able to grab, I think I tried ordering like 15 of them. I don't know.
Wow.
And I only ended up getting 6 because there was all those people ended up jumping on it as well. Yeah. So I sent them all in, and thank the Lord. It's a whole funny story, but I thought they were damaged. And it was the 1 in 10 variant where it's the artist's edges where it kind of shows like tape marks here and there. I thought they had a stain on them.
Right.
And so I thought, oh, Jesus, these books are useless to me. And so I thought, like, okay, should I get them clean, this and that? And so I finally found a photo that showed that tape mark, that little stain there is part of the cover. So I thought, oh, all right, let me send them in. And fortunately, that was how it's supposed to look. And they all came back 9.8. And so a 9.8 in that cover is going for about 200.
Nice.
But again, here's the thing. You have to move the books.
Correct.
You have to have that.
It's all worth what somebody's willing to pay, is what my father used to say. It's all worth what somebody's willing to put up for it and stuff like that. So that's interesting. Good stuff. Hey, but I'd like to talk about, we like to do this when we have new guests on here in the grotto. It's the anatomy of a collector, right? Yeah. Because, Ryan, I think we're all in the same age window and stuff like that. But take me back to when little Ryan was a kid. What is the first thing you ever remember collecting? And when I mean collecting, I'm saying, okay, you bought something and then you're like, okay, well, if I buy this Transformer, then I want this Transformer. If I buy Leonardo, then I got to buy Donatello, where you're actively seeking out stuff. Because we've all talked about that. Can you tell us when you first got this itch?
Oh, God. I mean, I've gone through so many different iterations of itches, if you will. And starting back to my earliest years, so growing up for me, I didn't have that much access to a comic book store. So I grew up in a small town, and so the only comics I was able to get was in a local antique shop. And
really,
so a couple months ago, actually, I was going through my office closet and I found this old box, and bless you, and I was opening up and I found a whole bunch of comics that I bought when I was a kid, and there were some Venoms in there. It was the Enemy Within, that really cool glow in the dark variant. There was the one where Venom's fighting the Juggernaut, and there was a few other ones. But what I thought was the coolest thing is that young Ryan, I didn't know about bags and boards and things like that because, again, I was never in a comic book store. I was in an antique shop that they were all just shoved in a rack. I would take baseball sleeves or baseball card sleeves, like the 3x3s. So there were like 9 spots, and I had layered them on top of the comic, and I had either taped or stapled them to create my own quasi. Look at
that. The ingenuity of young Ryan.
Yeah.
So I was, if I would like to say, I was slabbing comics before, slabbing comics. I was, with the baseball cards and, everything. But yeah, so that was the earliest iteration. Now, coming into comics was actually later in life, and I had to go through some different phases of collecting in my life. I started with watches, and then, or actually started with cars, and then watches, and then shoes, and now comics. So I've gotten smaller over the years because these I can have a whole bunch of these. You can't.
Right. There's only so much space. You know what I mean? You start collecting, cars, and you got to flip it or sneakers.
So
or something.
I started collecting watches about 2 years ago.
Hey, you know what? I got a few of them if you're looking for them.
Yeah. Oh my God. Justin, we got a few more people in the chat. Who's hanging out with us?
Got some new guys in here. Superior Hero Reviews is in here. Beach City Comics is with us. We got, like I said, Captain Crunch, Bob B. Who else? Long Box Diving. That's a great YouTube name, guys. Go check him out. He's got a good channel.
Always throw in 20 in your CGC thing. That's how you get them.
What'd you say, Ryan?
Oh, because he asked me if I tipped the CGC grader better.
Oh yeah. Well, that's what they think I do. Me and Dave in the Cave.
There's something
really
going on
great. I mean, I don't really ever get bad grades.
Some sort of shenanigans.
Justin just said I don't get bad grades.
I think it's CGC come out, and if you name drop Roger Levesque, you get good grades,
Right.
and it knocks down a point for one of my books.
Right.
Wait, hold on.
Justin,
So should I be in this? Should I be in this live show right now if it's going to affect my CGC status?
No, it's not. It's not.
It's going to help your CGC.
Yeah, you just can't hang out with this guy, So I was going through some of your books, man. You got, like I said, we're going to talk about all the cool books you got there. But I saw this Spider-Man book, and I am enamored by this book. I'm hoping you got an extra copy of it, to be honest with you.
Which one?
But do you have that picture that I put in there? This one right here.
Oh, yes. That one.
Oh.
The Ryan Stegman 1 in 25
This is sick.
variant.
What is this? What is the ratio on this?
It's a 1 in 25, sorry, by Ryan Stegman.
Yep.
And this is probably one of my favorite covers. I think when you have, first off, his art is phenomenal, and the way that he draws Spider-Man and Venom is both very crisp but also very emotive. You can see great emotion on him. But to see Venom slowly coming on top of the body and then holding the guns with the smoke coming up, it's almost like webbing smoke. To me, it's just an amazing cover.
No, it's sick. I absolutely love it. And
Dave's asking, is it for sale? Is it on his website for sale, or is it just he showed it off?
Yeah, you know what? I think I had a raw copy. You know what? Let me check. I might have a raw copy, but that one I actually
claim.
You know what? You got it. If I have it, you got it. But
thank you very much, man. I appreciate that.
You know, a lot of them too.
Real quick, shout out to Captain Crunch for the $10 super chat. Speaking of tips.
Thank you very much, Captain Crunch. We appreciate that.
Right.
Thank you.
But yeah, you know, a lot of them too. I had to buy. I watch out for auctions and things of that nature, and I use a lot of analytical sites, GPA analysis, Go Collect, some of these things. But you know what? Here, you got to be careful with that too, because you have to look at. A number will tell you a lot of things, but a number doesn't tell you everything. It doesn't tell you what's going on in the time that something may have spiked or dropped.
Right.
So you also have to look at historical things that were going on. So if something spiked, maybe a trailer had come out or a movie had come out and maybe caused it to spike. So that may not be its true value. So you have to kind of look at a whole bunch of different things to try and find some good value.
Absolutely.
Where did you find that ASM 300 Mini 9.8?
You know, I got that one just recently.
I know.
at an auction on eBay through Anthony's Comics, I believe. Anthony, I think he's in New York or
yeah, my buddy Anthony. We've met Anthony a bunch of times.
That's it. You know what? I was the only person to bid on that, so you missed out.
Because I do have one of those, but I'm not even going to try sending it to CGC. And I have a 9.8 of the 300. I have a 9.8 of the 700. So that would look beautiful next to it.
That's amazing.
You know what? If you're looking for it, shoot me a message. Let's talk. You know, if you're a bigger collector of that than I am, I just love Spider-Man and the ASM 300s. But if you're interested in it, you look.
See, look, deals are always being made.
So I don't know if you noticed, but I collect ASM 300 covers.
Oh yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah, so I have about 70 of them.
70.
Oh, okay, you have about 55 more than me.
Now, Ryan, are you a reader too? Let's talk about some of your favorite characters.
Yeah, huge reader. I mean, for me, as far as characters go, I'm a big anti-hero fan. I think they have a lot more leeway in the morality world as far as playing with that little gray line.
I love it.
But my favorite characters are going to be Venom and Joker first and foremost. Joker was the one that actually got me into comics, and for me, I'm a big philosophy guy. I love looking at philosophical angles and reasons why we do things, and I think Joker is a character that greatly encompasses that, and I think he's actually a great reflection of who we are in society when he's being written. I think if you look at him during the Cesar Romero era, it's completely different than the Frank Miller, the Grant Morrison era in the 80s, and the Alan Moore era in the 80s. I think you're seeing a lot going on with the end of the Cold War. You have a whole lot of things. You have the 80s were just the 80s, right? They were crazy. It was this whole change in society that was more rebellious and more rock and roll, and I think that's what allowed you to see such things as Arkham Asylum and Kill and Joke. And same thing with Venom, and he's a more recent character, and I like the transition to an anti-hero. But I love a little bit more meat on a character's bones. Moon Knight's another one that I love. I love that little 3 personality angle that they've taken with him.
Mark Spector all over the place. You just did a great video on YouTube about that, right? And it was trending pretty high up there, right? Your Moon Knight video.
If you type in Moon Knight #1, it's the third ranked video. So
yeah, good for you, man.
Thank you very much. And again, I love Moon Knight, but I also love Bill Sienkiewicz. And I love his art. I know that his early art, and what's really cool with him is you can follow from Moon Knight through his Moon Knight 1 in 75 variant that he did, even to New Mutants and things after. You can see this transition in his art style where he finally comes into his own, where he's very much more abstract.
Right.
And I love abstract art. I'm a huge fan of like Basquiat and some of these other artists that allows you to really take in what their drawing is. You can feel that emotion.
So I want to tell you a little bit about the history that I have with Bill Sienkiewicz, who I've never met, but I'm dying to meet him. So when those Moon Knights were coming out and those New Mutants were coming out, I was buying that stuff off the rack. That's to date myself. And when I was a kid, it was too abstract for me. You know what I mean? It was too kind of out there. It was too psychedelic. Yeah, I really couldn't dig it because I was a John Byrne fan. I was, that was the kind of art that I grew up to. And then when this stuff started coming out, I'm like, this is a little bit too crazy. But now as an adult, the way I look at his Moon Knight stuff and the cover, the one with the wolf face, and him going at each other with the 666 in the middle, that cover.
Yep,
and
it's
then
on the wall.
And even the Legion character in the New Mutants is just absolutely fantastic, man. So I'm absolutely digging it right now. So in my opinion, that's how I've kind of evolved with the different artists and stuff like that. So really interesting stuff, man. So good for you, man, on that.
Oh, thank you very much.
Now, when it comes to your YouTube channel, Justin, Pat, Roger, and myself, we set a goal. What we're trying to do. Like, do you have that too? Like, do you say, okay, on Monday night, I want to get out a video? Is that how you're trying to do it? I know you're keeping your topic all the same, which is really, really cool. But are you doing it when you can, when you're between the kids, or are you trying to keep it very...
Yeah, I'm spread pretty thin between trying to start this YouTube channel as well as the Instagram, as well as the husband and the kids and everything like that.
Of course.
But you know what? I think everyone is. I don't, and also my actual, work.
Right. We have a job, right?
Yeah, no, but everyone is. And I think that's I'm no different, and I'm no special. But yeah, as far as my schedule and things that go of that nature, I want to make sure that I at least try and keep some consistency. I think if people are taking the time to watch my videos, there's that expectation that there will be videos continuing to show up, and so I would like to continue putting out at least 1 or 2 a week.
Yeah.
I'd like to start doing more of comic book news and things that are going on that maybe I might have some thoughts on that maybe I could share with the community and see what they think, whether they agree or, they don't always have to agree. I think that's what's really cool about it is that people can disagree, but as long as they go about it in a constructive way and present their point, because I know that I don't have the correct answers all the time. And I'd like to hear those other opinions because maybe it helps inform me better than what I had going in.
Right. And I'm very fortunate because when we do 3 Men in a Basement, we have all of these guys, come up with our ideas and stuff. But you know what? Let's talk about something a little bit controversial right now. And maybe I'll have Justin chime in because we talked about this on Lords of the Long Box just briefly. We have a Batman book that's out of control right now because of a new character. Now, I'm a little bit bitter because I didn't get a copy, and I think she's going to die in 3 issues by Harley.
I got 10 copies.
You swear to God.
No, I don't have any.
Oh, jeez. Ryan, did you pick up any of those books? Justin, what number is it?
89.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, you know what? Here's something that's really interesting about this is that I think actually a couple weeks back before final order cutoff, I think Tinian had said something, and I actually thought it was kind of a throwaway, and so I ignored it. And hindsight, really bit me on that one. But I think I was actually able to get one thanks to the people that I get my comic books from. They were able to pull one for me. But going back to Batman's a high print run. Like always, because you're looking 80 to 100,000. But if you actually look at the last, so I went back and went onto Comichron to look at what the last 2 issue print runs were on it. You look at 76,000, and then I think the last one was closer to like the 60,000. So if it's continuing that, it's going to be lower than what the normal print run is on it. And so I think that yes, I mean there's going to be a ton of them just because the print run on Batman is huge. But here's the other thing too, is that people talk about it being a cameo versus a first full.
Right.
Well, going back to my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 95, that was a cameo technically. She was just on the last panel page, and her first full was technically number 96. But 95 has continued to hold value because that was the one that was the lowest print. That's the one that caught everyone off guard. So I think going forward, every other issue from this thing up to 94 with the art germ variant that's going to have her on the cover and some of the 92s that have her kind of in the back, those are going to be through the roof. I already see pre-sellers selling CGC guaranteed 9.8s that come with a free copy.
Right.
So, I mean, that's going to be through the roof. So as far as print runs go, this is going to be the lowest that you're going to see that involves this character.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I mean, people are crazy. That guy who spent $700 because there was an error inside.
Right.
Yeah,
And he talked about how he put it on eBay as a joke. And buy it now for $700.
That's the best joke I heard all week.
All of a sudden, you got money. Somebody paid $700 for a $4 comic,
right?
Because there's a printing error.
Well,
and we don't even know how rampant that error is.
It could be 3/4 of them.
Right.
Exactly. So that's the thing, is that people have a very FOMO aspect of collecting, whereas I think the rule of thumb is wait about 3 weeks because you're going to see a lot of the flooding. But
yeah, buy one for $2 in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know Justin has some thoughts on this book. Justin.
Well, yeah, I eventually got one, and I checked my copy, and my copy wasn't the error variant. But it's, again, I'm a Batman collector. I don't have an LC, like a direct LCS. I mostly buy online right now, but I do go to a local comic shop. The one shop that I went to that opened up at 11 o'clock. They opened at 11. I was there at 11:15. They had one copy. It was $25. Now, maybe if I knew that they had this error variant, I would have opened up the book and checked and said, okay, yeah, I'll pay $25 for this. Because I guarantee there's a lot of people that just bought the book and flipped it before they even looked inside to see this. So there could be, you could have bought the book for $25, $50, and now you're going to get that copy and look at it, and you're going to open it up, and it's got, it's got the error variant in it. So I don't know. I'm just surprised. But I think, like you said, the print run, because of it dropping, I think that is because of Tom King's kind of the end of his run. I mean, it was just getting worse and worse through.
It just ran on. Yeah.
Yeah. It just, I didn't understand the last couple issues at all. Like, I mean, they were kind of making sense, but 85 just made no sense to me. I was happy and done with it. I loved 86, 87. They've been great. I mean, there have been great storylines, but I guess that's what it is. People kind of tapered off who weren't true Batman fans or, real DC hardcores that were like, man, I really liked this when it started, but now it's kind of just like, I don't really need to pick it up anymore.
Yep. So we have 2 questions, and we'll go backwards on that.
Justin, don't forget, longtime friend of the show, Tom King.
That's right.
Yes. Just saying, Tom, it wasn't the greatest at the end. I loved the first 40 issues, 50 issues.
So Vexer wants to know, what was the error? Was it a page error?
I think it looked like there was some, for what I saw, there was some bubble, like they were supposed to be talking and it was blank.
I think from what I'm hearing, there's 2 different types of errors on it. One is a completely blacked out page, and the other one is a washed out bubble without wording. I don't know if Justin might.
Right, so the words were gone.
All right.
Yeah.
And then we do have a question, not related to this, from King of the Golden State. What do you guys think of the Dan Dido departure? Dan Dido. I'm not really privy to talk about this. Justin, what are your thoughts?
I mean, it's definitely sad. I mean, I've met him a few times at New York Comic Con. I've shaken his hand. I've had a few words with him when I've met him at New York Comic Con, just talking about whenever it was. I mean, I talked to him right after when New 52 came out. I said it really got me back into collecting. And even really with the Rebirth, I spoke with him briefly on that. I said that I hope you guys aren't going the Marvel route where you're constantly just reshooting or relaunching everything. But he's done a lot of great things for Marvel. I mean, and sometimes it's time for a change at the end of the day.
Have you heard anything more than he just left?
No.
Why or anything?
No, I mean, I'm sure more news will come out, more websites will put it out. But
yeah, he'll start putting stuff out there.
He's no longer with DC Comics, so he's no longer from the publishers. So.
Ryan, have you heard anything about this? Were you following this at all?
No, I just saw the article that came out today as well, and I don't have any speculation on that. I think everyone has their time, just as with any athlete. That there's a time and place that you just need to move on. And what Justin was saying is that it is good, regardless of how iconic a person is. Hopefully whoever replaces him is going to take it in a good direction. But yeah, I don't have enough information. I don't want to
neither do I.
on it.
So I got a question. It's a good question. Is Torpedo Comics your LCS? Do you frequent Torpedo Comics?
No, I love Torpedo. Actually, I just started going to signings. Actually, my first signing was actually last year at the Amazing Comic Con here. But my first non-con signing was Jim Lee and Donnie Cates. I actually had Jim Lee do a couple sketches that were phenomenal.
Nice.
But yeah, no. So Torpedo's a little bit further from where I live. It's about a 20-minute drive, so it's not easy for me to pop out there. I actually order it. I try and actually order the majority of my books at FOC, and the reason I like to do that is that the people that I go through are very good, and they provide a lot of deals. And so here, and another factor is I didn't order, like we talked about, the Batman book, right? And so I get a lot of my FOC orders through them, and I just said, hey, do you guys happen to have an extra one? And they said, yeah, we got you. So, I'd like to build a more personal relationship with my retailers like that. And I just don't have the ability to go out to Torpedo. Gabe and all those other guys out there have been nothing but kind to me. And I go out there whenever I can, because I also like to support LCSs. And the people I buy through are an LCS. They just aren't near me. Yeah,
right.
And talking about, so another thing too is when my baby was born, I wasn't able to go do anything really. So I did a lot of mine through my comic shop.
Yep.
But speaking a little bit on this Batman issue, and this has happened once or twice with them. It's happened with all these retailers. It really is disheartening and unfortunate when they just jack up the prices of a new book to $20 to $40 on a $4 book the day it comes out.
I thought Justin was going to fucking kill. Excuse my language, family show. I thought Justin was going to murder this guy. He was heated. He was heated.
I was ready to take off my jacket, take off my my shirt and tie, and be like. And I said to the guy, I go, "Do you want to see my sleeve? Like, I have all the Batman characters on my arm. Like, I can't get this for $4. Like, it's launch day, 15 minutes after you opened up. Like, he goes, this is the owner's pricing. I go, well, and I knew the kid wasn't the owner, and I was like, well, is he here or is he going to come? He's like, no, he's not going to be here today. I'm like, how are you not here on launch day? You're going to get a lot of pissed off people, especially today.
Unbelievable.
And it's very short-sighted. I mean,
it absolutely is.
And I know that they say, well, it's going for this much on eBay. Well, guess what? If you want to be an eBay seller, that by all means, then put them up on eBay. But here's the thing: is if you want continued patronage, you got to abide by the rules. And you're going to give up a quick buck for this issue, but you're going to keep those continued buyers. Yeah. And if people aren't showing up, and people say, well, these LCSs are all shutting down and this and that, and they are, but they're not helping themselves by doing these quick grabs. You're upsetting your customers, and I don't know just how many books you would have bought, but if you lose that, like for me, my comic shop, I used to buy like 10, 12 books every week. Now I'm upset. Now you're losing 10, 12 books possibly to try and get a quick grab. Right. Now, when you're going to the ratio variants, the 1 in 25s, 50s, and what have you, that's a little bit of a different game. But when you're looking at regular price books, you are, and I had a retailer here in Vegas, and that's why I don't do a lot of shopping at those places. It was I will never forget this. I posted it on my Instagram because I was so fumed, but I never put their name on blast because I'm not trying to hurt anyone's business, but I didn't buy the damn book. Right. But it was a Silver Surfer Black #1, the second print Deodato variant. They had that thing at $15 day of. I walked in there. There's 2 copies sitting there at $15. And guess what? I know someone bought them. Okay, so they were right. They were able to sell them. But look at it, that was back in what, like June-ish, and I'm still fuming about it because that it's just disrespectful. And here's another thing too. And I think there's a reason why a lot of these businesses are going out of commission in business is that they don't have traditional business backgrounds. These are comic book lovers who wanted to make it their full-time job. And so they become victims of the moment, and they go off of what eBay is. But business will tell you, sell it for what you can move it for, keep the people coming in, make up the money through the continued business. I mean, it's if you saw Target doing something like that, imagine what would happen if Target started jacking up prices on iPhones or something like that.
Right.
They wouldn't survive.
Or toys. I mean, toys are a hot thing. I mean, you can't. They put it out no matter what. It's just first come, first serve. They're not holding it behind the counters or going. You know, they never go more than retail. I mean, they can't sell it more than if it's retail for $59.99. You're not seeing it at $69 or $79.99 because they want to make more of a profit. It's just
they just relaunched the Migos, and Target was selling a lot of them. They didn't jack the prices up. When they were gone, they were gone.
Yeah. I always like to say, Ryan, you know, what I like to say about this is I started this, you know, I was that kid going to cons and like VFW halls with, you know, there was no cosplay when I was going. There was no, you know, it was 99 cents to get in. And, I stopped for a long time, college kids, the whole thing, but I came back. And to me, this is definitely not a sprint. And when it's a sprint, you can either make a lot of money or lose a lot of money, right? But for me, it's a marathon. What am I doing over time? Like, I just picked up the first appearance of Carol Danvers because I missed out on it because it got hot. And then it dropped. It took a big drop. And I finally just picked it up because now was the time for me to buy it. And you know what? Am I going to flip it? No, it's part of my personal collection. But that's a book that I had, you know, that I missed out on, and it just came back to. So a lot of us go through that, you know. So good stuff. But you know what, though? I got some books back from CGC.
Let's take a look
Let's take a look. All right. So, Ryan, part of what we do here at 3 Men in the Basement is we send books in, and we don't look at the grades. We give you an idea of what we think they are, what they come back at, you know, whether they're going to be happy or disappointed. So, these books...
Everybody else gets happy, and Roger gets disappointed.
These books have been since Baltimore. I dropped these books off in Baltimore, and I looked at Justin. I said, Justin, I'm not getting these books back till Christmas. Little did I know we're in Valentine's Day now, you know, that I'm just getting them back.
Yeah, well, you know, there's that's a whole nother video. Before we jump in, I do apologize. I have about 5 to 7 minutes before I have to jump out. I have to go get my girl from a birthday party. So I'm going to stay for as long as I can, but I don't want to interrupt the unboxing. And
No. So let's. I'll tell you what we can do. No, we'll do it right now. We can, you know, we'll let you leave. You can take off. So, everybody, we've just had Ryan on for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
I hope you guys are subbing up to him. I hope you guys are checking him out on Instagram. Follow him on Instagram. Sub up to his YouTube channel. Obviously, you know, our conversations here tonight was very knowledgeable. We're just not having people on to have people on. This was a great experience. So, Ryan, on behalf of myself and Roger, Justin, thank you very much for coming on. If you have any parting words, please go ahead.
Appreciate it.
You know what? First, I'd like to really say thank you to you guys and your kindness for even reaching out to ask me to be on. I'm very humbled by it. I'm very appreciative of it because I need this. I need to practice speaking to other collectors, and you guys have so much more knowledge than I do. I have my little nuggets that I've accumulated, but this is what it's about. I love meeting other collectors and building these relationships and friendships, and I just want to say thank you. You guys have been fantastic hosts. I appreciate you asking me all these questions and letting me hijack your show because I understand I have my opinions, but your opinions are just as great and valid, and I hope to hear your sides of this more, but I really do want to say thank you guys. It's very nice.
Thank you, Ryan, and I'm going to be hitting you up soon about a book on your website as well.
Yeah, so. I'll DM you.
Please.
All right, yeah. So we're all going to be talking to you, Ryan. Thank you very much. Go be a dad. Thank you very much for joining us on 3 Men in the Basement.
Appreciate it.
Thank you guys. Have a great night. Have a great weekend. Thanks, guys.
You too.
All right. So good stuff. Very knowledgeable.
Yeah.
Knows what he's talking about.
Great
So
guest. Very well spoken.
Here's what I have in this. I got some Silver Age books. I've got some Bronze Age books. And we're just going to pull them out. And you know what, to be honest with you, I don't know if these are all the books. I think there's 6 of them. I'm hoping that all these books are here because I can't go on the website and see if they sent them because I don't want to look at the grades. You know?
All right.
So
X-Men number 12.
Oh, we're going to start with this one?
That's the first one.
This is the first book. This is what I was waiting for. Okay. This is First Juggernaut. Great book. Had this book for a while. I'm hoping that this book is a solid 5. Okay. I thought it was a 5. It had a little bit of some damage on the back, but it was pressed out. Colors look great. I'm looking for a 5 on this book. Man, I was hoping this book would be last, but all right, Raj, what am I getting at? 4.5. All right. Okay, there we go. I'll show it off, though. I'll show it off. Nice red cover. Off-white to white pages. First Juggernaut.
Off-white pages, like my Teen Titans.
There you go. So, I was in the ballpark. I shouldn't have said what I was disappointed at. I would have been disappointed about a 3.54. So, there you go.
That's
First
good.
Juggernaut.
It's a nice
Love
book.
it. My favorite
Great
villain.
book. Great book. You love
Great
Juggernaut.
book. I love Juggernaut. Absolutely. Just a great book. How did it get a 4.5? All right. So, anyway. Next book.
Fantastic Four, 44.
Ooh, good book right here. First Gorgon. So, as TiVo likes to talk about, the Silver Age and Bronze Age of FF are raw for the picking, right? They are. Yeah, thank you very much, J. Rod Ham. Get J. Rod Ham up there. Thank you very much. Punchline? No, we're talking about the Juggernaut, bitch. There we go. Sorry, family show. We're getting a little excited because of these books. All right. So, this is First Gorgon. As we like to say on Lords of the Long Box, that the Silver Age and Bronze Age of FF are right for the picking. This is a pretty book. I probably own 3 of these books. And this is a great cover, too, because it's got Gorgon, and it's got something else really funny in the word bubble, which I'm going to tell you about. I'm hoping that this book, to me, this book was a solid 7. If it's a 5, it is what it is. But, the Inhumans, God, that movie was terrible. Their show was terrible. But I am an Inhumans fan, and if they just followed Kirby's template, it would have been a lot better. So, what am I looking at, Raj?
6.5.
6.5. I'm about a half a point off. Jeez. All right, but I'll show it off. And then what I love about this is when you look at this and it says, the gentleman's name is Gorgon, or what a way to spend a honeymoon. Okay? Classic Kirby. I'm trying to get rid of the glare there. You can see Gorgon, Medusa's on it, Dragon Man flying
Short
in the
hair,
back.
long hair.
Long hair. But it's funny, though. Medusa's got the whole FF in there. You got Gorgon. So there's a lot of stuff happening in this book. But you know what, though? 6.5 white pages.
White pages.
White pages. All right.
Say it isn't so.
For a book that came from 1965. All right.
All right, next one is Flash, 139.
All right. So, one of my favorite DC villains. I have the first and second appearance of Reverse Flash in here. And even before the Flash show, the Reverse Flash was something that always enamored me. Whether it was, Flash was never one of my favorite heroes, but for some reason, Reverse Flash was one of my favorite villains. I just love the yellow costume. I think it looks great. I love the aspect of Zoom. Is this his first or second appearance book? Which one? Does it say on the label?
139's first.
Yeah, 139. So what's this, Raj?
139.
All right, this is okay. So I'm hoping for a 4. Okay, solid 4. Disappointed at a 2.5. I can't even look at this expression right now because I don't want to rot it. But if it's a 5, I'm pretty happy. But hold on. I would love the first and second appearance.
To be linear.
To be linear. I don't know if they're going to be linear, but goddamn, that would be huge tonight on 3 Men in the Basement. So, talk to me, Goose.
4.
4. Okay, solid 4, right? Now look at this. This is 1963. Look at how beautiful this book is right here. Look at those colors. Just off-white pages. Carmen Infantino, Joe Giella, just beautiful first appearance of, just a nice book right there. Okay,
nice book.
So
now did you buy that raw recently?
No, I bought this a long time ago.
Okay.
So my point was with these books, I was sitting on these books for a while, so I had them pressed and stuff like that. So just a great book. Now, oh man, I don't know if the other book is this clean. So this is second appearance, right?
Do you want to know how much I paid for my first Reverse Flash?
147. How much?
$40.
Did you really?
And it came back a 5.5 unpressed.
Oh.
And this was this was probably 6 months before the show came out.
Yeah.
And I don't really think nobody knew what it was, that he was going to be the big baddie.
Yeah.
But I literally pulled it out of actually I bought it in Clifton.
Did you really?
$40 unpressed.
Yeah, love it. Great investment, right?
I gotta impress it, to be honest.
47?
Yeah, so this is Flash 147.
Okay, so you want a 4.0.
I want a 4.0. I want a 4.0.
Happy with
Happy with
4.0.
4.0.
Disappointed with
Like a 3.0, you know what I mean? 5.0, I'm happy. But, like, I never wanted a 4.0 or more.
What would it be to throw across the room against the wall?
Oh, God, a 1.5. Jesus Christ. Is that what I'm going to do?
5.0.
5.0. Okay. There we go. All right. Now, no way did I think. So I bought this before I bought. Shout out to Alex Perez. Who's in the duo? Yeah. Yeah. So I bought this before I bought the first appearance. And I just sat on him. And again, I love the fact, like, I don't even know who this guy is right here. I forgot who this idiot is in the middle. Just get rid of him and put zoom. And I love the fact that on both. Look at this guy. This is the stupidest thing ever. I forgot who this character was. It's the stupidest thing ever. Some guy with like a hose on his.
Like an anteater.
Yeah, like an giant anteater. But, you know, when you look at both of these books, I mean, if these. This is where DC, I think, was fantastic. 1963, beautiful covers with both the hero and a villain, and it's telling a story. You know, I've got to capture the crook. I've got to get him to escape. You know, they don't do this anymore. They don't have word bubbles on the cover.
Oh, yeah,
this is
not.
You know, this is great stuff right here. All right. So good stuff so far. Good stuff.
Yeah, you got one more book.
I got one more book. Now, this isn't a big book.
OMAC #1.
This is OMAC #1. This is a white cover book. This is when Kirby went to DC. This is a 110% spec book because you don't know where it's going to go with this. I didn't pay much for this, but it is Kirby, and I'm a Kirby purist.
OMAC's a character? I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, it's not a really cool character. It was like Kirby was reaching. I mean, this was when Kirby was just trying to do everything. He's got many powers. I couldn't even really tell you. I haven't read an OMAC book in a while. So, but it was a book, and it's a very odd cover because he's throwing.
He's a metahuman?
He's
a cyborg.
He's a cyborg, is he really?
Yeah. OMAC stands for Omni, Mind, and Community.
Oh, there you go. Look at the big brains on Justin.
Somebody's got to.
Jeez,
Somebody's got to smarten up the show.
Somebody's got to raise the IQ here. I'm thinking this book is a 7. Okay. I'm thinking it's a. Why does he look down like this?
Because I can't read. I don't have cheaters like you.
Okay.
And I have a tough time reading.
I'm thinking this book is a 7. It's not a valuable book.
How old is the book?
This is in the 70s. All right. This is early 70s when Kirby left, went to work at DC, started thinking of other characters. So, all right, talk to me.
So you're happy with
7.5. Disappointed with a 5.
With a 5. How about a 9.2?
Get out of here! Look at that!
How about
That
a
is huge!
9.2?
Look at that! Talk about the bad eyes on
Somewhere, somebody on the same day got a Teen Titans 12 at 8.5.
Yeah. Look at that. All right. Now
9.2.
9.2.
You were way off.
I was way off on
That
that.
John Denver was way off.
Way off. But you know, it's a white cover, cleaned up well.
That's nice.
That's a nice book right there.
Good for you.
1974.
Good for
Your boy
you.
was only 3 years old. You
Think
weren't
about
born.
it.
Justin wasn't even
I wasn't born either, yeah.
So this is Jack Kirby and
That's
Mike Royer.
unbelievable.
First appearance of
You wanted a
Boba.
7 and it came back a 9.2?
9.2.
That's
There we go.
unbelievable.
Crazy.
Good for you.
So, all right, Thunder House Design. That was almost a karate chop. That was close.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited, man. Thank you very much.
Should have been a karate chop.
I know. I don't want to get it.
Yeah, well.
All right. So I've got those are my books back from CGC.
Nice job.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Took forever. What was that? 6 months? Figure 4?
Yeah, it's Baltimore. My
Yeah.
God. My son grew 4 inches since this happened. It's Baltimore. You know what I mean? Like,
The only person that waited longer was my wife to become, when she was my girlfriend, to become my wife.
thought I don't think about it yet. I know. So now, Justin, does Rocket Comics have any of your books for C2E2?
Yeah, they have a Batman 121. They have which is first.
What happens if he mixes our books up? What was
No.
your grade?
3.5.
So was mine.
Yeah, but my books are going to go with my invoice, and then yours will go.
Yeah, I
with
know that, but I mean,
It's not going to happen, but it was a Batman 121, a Batman 189, which is first Silver Age Scarecrow.
oh, good book.
I'm looking it up. I'm trying to find my picture. And then I believe here it is. Batman 251, which is the Joker cover.
Yep.
That was a 4.0. And then Batman 227, which is the cover swipe of the old Detective Comics, number 31. That was a 5.5. So I'm looking for at least a 0.5 bump on pretty much all of them, which would be nice.
Right.
At one point, a full grade bump would be awesome.
Absolutely, I agree with you. And I also have 4 other books. And I am expecting, I shouldn't say expecting, I don't want to say that.
Here we go.
I am hoping for a 9.8. As I stated before,
you're going to get one, just like Dave's saying. I'm going to take the juice for all the 3 men in the basement from now on. My next modern is going to be a 6.5. You guys are all getting 9.8s.
Right. I do want to say, though, that I have a first Lobo set there, and I think I have a 9.4. I've had a bunch of copies of this.
Omega Men 4?
Omega Men 4, which I have a special appreciation for, because that book was very significant when I was a kid and I bought it. And I'm hoping that book comes to 9.8. That book, to me, if my Teen Titans 2 9.8 as a kid was one of my favorite DC books, this has got to be, if it's like as Pat would say, if this is a 1 or 1A, this is a 1 or 1A as far as books, because that Lobo book, that Omega Men book, when I was a kid and I just saw him go on that ship with his partner, get on there and start killing the Omega Men, ripping these wings off one of the characters, I forgot who it was, just very, very iconic, that he did by Keith Geffen, stuff like that. So that book is there. I've got my Foom with the X-Men, and to be honest with you, I forgot what the other 2 books were, but I've got them somewhere written down. So anyway, so expect, talk about the future, expect CGC unboxing pretty close, a couple weeks after C2E2, right, Justin?
Yeah, definitely. It's probably, I would say, sometime in March once we do our shows, figure out what our show schedule is going to be.
Yeah. Thunderhouse Design is asking, was it just a press and a regrade?
No, I am just pressing it. And I'm just pressing and regrading. As far as getting Adam's signature, no, I'm not getting Adam's signature. I sent the books to Rocket Comics. They were slabbed. He cracked them out. He pressed them, and he's doing the on-site grading at C2E2 because I just don't want to wait 5 months like you did. So
nobody wants. This is unbelievable. But in my defense, I paid for on-site grading.
Yeah.
I did I couldn't financially. I was into them. I don't want to say my wife might be up there, but I couldn't be into CGC for any more than like $500-600. You know what I mean? It was expensive. So, but I didn't think it would take that long. Do I regret it? But I do think, I will say this. I do think that the McFarlane signatures had something to do with this being so long. And whether I could have got it back in 2 weeks or a month early, I don't know. But I think it was kind of an anomaly because of the McFarlane signings and stuff like that. So,
you're right.
But again, just my opinion. My humble opinion is worth, whatever. So yeah. Now we want to talk about the swap one more time because you went out of your way to bring some of your stuff that you're going to give it. Now Roger brought this stuff because he wants to show you guys, give you an idea of what he's bringing to buy, sell, or trade. Yeah, I don't want to speak for you.
Yes, I'm not buying these. I already have
Right.
The sell or trade,
God,
right?
This guy. Jokes.
Sell or trade, it's one of those things that, that's why we're going there. Some people come up. I mean, first one to Connecticut, Justin and I made trades.
Right.
It's that's the beauty of a swap. You can buy them. You might have books that someone else is looking for, and vice versa. So
all right. So what do you got?
All right. So I got Silver Surfer number 2 and number 10. Raw Dogs, of course. One of Everett's favorite books, The Incredible Hulk. First appearance of the Thunderbolts.
Hot book.
Hot book.
And you might have heard about this book.
Another spec book. X-Men 266, first Gambit.
Ooh.
All right. How about a little Marvel premiere? 47, first Ant-Man or first...
Scott Lang. Yeah.
Scott Lang as Ant-Man.
I do like Scott Lang as Ant-Man.
Original Sin, Ages by number 4, first Silk.
Yeah. Well, you're bringing the fire.
Yeah.
Damn.
I got a little first Black Cat action. Huh?
Wait. So you have a raw copy of that?
I do.
And you have something else.
Well, and now I'm going to go... Oh, no, wait a minute. I got this one, too. Everett likes this one.
I do like this. This is one of my favorites.
It says Peter Porker and the Spectacular Spider-Man. First appearance of
Peter Porker. Love it.
And Spider-Man. Oh, I forgot this one, too. Deadpool number 1. You know what? I almost thought about having this submitted with a beautiful Deadpool label just to piss off Rob Liefeld.
Right. He's out of his mind. He's absolutely out of his mind.
And I got a couple slabs. I got a Thor 337, first Beta Ray.
Great book.
Yeah.
This is getting the Steam. Now they showed some pictures. 361 at a 9.6.
You sure you don't want to hold on to that? I mean, that's...
I got a 9.8, so...
Oh, hey, it's fine. This guy.
And there's another Black Cat at a 9.4.
Ooh, jeez.
Nice book.
Look at that. Dave in the Cave says we're going to talk for sure. Right. Okay.
And that's just the ones I brought here. I got a bunch of other books. I got an entire short box of variants that, a lot of virgin variants, and just like anybody else, some cool stuff that you pick up along the way that someone might be more interested in than you are.
Right.
You know?
So Justin had spoken about this before, and I'm going to speak on this a little bit. If you are planning on coming to the swap and you do want to set up, if you have books that you want to set up and display, we have limited space, but just let us know beforehand. The swap officially starts at 1 o'clock, but if you want to set up and have your books all prepped, show up a little bit earlier, right, Justin? A little bit like 12:30-ish?
Yeah, I would say between 12 and 12:30, just so that we can get this, the spacing issue, like who's going to go where. I'm going to be there probably about, we're going to be there probably 11:30, but we recommend anybody who wants to set up, come at 12. If you guys are just coming to shop, if you're watching this live or watching this on the rewind, come at 1 o'clock. Don't come before that, because we don't want you guys coming in.
We won't be set up.
We won't be set up. We don't want it to look like this isn't really what it is. Because once 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock starts going, we're going to be rocking and rolling. We're going to, we're going to have some drinks, have some food. It's definitely going to be a great time. I'm excited to see a lot of the YouTube community, a lot of the Instagram community. I got people coming out of town to come to this. So, a lot of local people. So it's going to be really good. We got some great raffle stuff given away. Like I said, Zap gave us some tickets for their ZapCon in New Jersey. I got tickets to East Coast Comic Con, which is in April. Got some figures to give away.
You got it, like a door prize and stuff like that.
Prizes, we do trivia. So new merchandise for 3 Men in a Basement. Tons of stuff.
And I think one of the other things, especially at our first one, that people asked was, what should I bring and how much should I bring?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think Gary did a fantastic job. He brought in, a few short boxes with just all sorts of different stuff. But in conversation, if you have other stuff, bring it and leave it in your car. So if someone says, "Oh, do you have any Spider-Man? Do you have any X-Men? Do you have it?" "Oh, not here, but I got it in the car." You can go get it, and in those conversations, I know my brother personally bought a bunch of stuff off of Gary that Gary had in his truck that he wasn't displaying because that's what he was looking for.
Right, absolutely.
So you can bring more stuff. I would say, be ready to display, what kind of variety of stuff that you have available, and then start those conversations. I got more stuff in the car. What are you looking for?
Right, absolutely. Mm-hmm. All right, so Justin, we're kicking it for almost an hour and 5 minutes. We've talked about the swap. We had Ryan Comic Guy on. We did a CGC unboxing. We've had a great comprehensive show.
What are we missing?
Yeah, nothing. We had a great night.
Yeah,
we had a great night. So, Justin, any departing words before we wrap up our wonderful show?
Thank everybody for joining tonight on this Friday. There are a ton of live shows going on right now. If you guys are into Star Wars, Beyond the Blast Doors is talking about season 7 of the Clone Wars. I did watch episode 1, which is...
Hold on, is that week to week, Justin, or is that a binge watch?
That is week to week. So It's just like every other awesome show instead of binge watching. So if you guys are into Star Wars, check out Beyond the Blast Doors. Our friends over at the Comic Core, they are live with John Beatty. So if you are a fan of John Beatty's work, he's on the Comic Core right now. And also our friends over at the NY Warriors are doing an impromptu live auction right now. So once we end, hop over to one of those channels. And, maybe I'll see you. I'm probably going to head over to the auction for NY Warriors, or I may want to see what John Beatty's got to talk about. Or Star Wars, because I just watched it. And I really want to know what, they talk about as well. So I'm going to be watching a lot of stuff as soon as this is over.
All right. Nice. Raj?
I think it was a great show. I haven't seen Birds of Prey yet. I've heard a lot of negativity. Hate the new Batman suit. Not digging it whatsoever. Giant forehead. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but I am looking forward to Deadshot. Bloodshot.
Bloodshot.
That preview was phenomenal. So.
Good. Nice. All right. Cool. All right. So that's a great wrap up, you guys. I do really want to say this. This is all about the community. It's all about growing it. People know everybody. You know what? But as we'd like to say, please comment, share, and like our videos. And I know that sounds cliche, but that's what we need in order to grow the channel.
Yeah.
That's what YouTube is looking for. And I know you guys believe in us, and we believe in you guys. So
we appreciate it.
We definitely appreciate it. So on behalf on all the 3 Men in the Basement, please try to make your way out to the swap. On behalf of my brothers at Lords of the Long Box, TiVo, Darkside Jedi, Milton the Manimal, we had a great time tonight. We are 3 Men in the Basement.